I'm Joe Catalano with an AM Quincy news update for Tuesday, July 14th. Well, the long-awaited repaving of C Street in Quincy is underway. The city says the work begins this week between Homer Road and Palmer Street. This week, pavement milling operations are underway. The work will take place weekdays from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. At least one lane will be open in each direction at all times, with at least two lanes open exiting the peninsula until 9 a.m. There will be no detours onto the side streets from C Street. Utility casting adjustments will take place next week. The roadway paving takes place the week of July 27th, and pavement markings take place the week of August 3rd. The remainder of the project from Samoset Avenue to Homer Road will be completed in the fall. The project is being led by the Massachusetts Department of Transportation. The Quincy Zoning Board of Appeals meets this evening. Two proposed developments in Ward 2 are on the agenda. The board will continue discussing a proposal to convert the former Sweeney Funeral Home on Elm Street into a 3-unit apartment building with 6 parking spaces. The board will also hear a proposal to put an addition onto the home at 190 Franklin Street to create a duplex, then build a second duplex on that parcel with 10 parking spaces. The board will meet at 6 p.m. on the first floor of Old City Hall. You can watch that meeting live on QATV channels 9 and 1072. Lindsay Clancy's murder case was back in court yesterday for a hearing as attorneys and the judge prepare for the start of jury selection next week in the Duxbury mother's trial for the alleged strangulation of her 3 children in 2023. Clancy was indicted on 3 counts each of murder for the deaths of her 5-year-old daughter, Cora, 3-year-old son, Dawson, and 7-month-old son, Callan. She pleaded not guilty to the charges. She became a paraplegic after harming herself in the immediate aftermath of her children's deaths. The judge said he expected to seek 18 jurors for the case, which is expected to last 6 to 8 weeks. Kevin Reddington, Clancy's defense attorney, had asked the court for permission to block a larger-than-normal number of prospective jurors from being added to the panel. Reddington argued the length and emotional toll of the trial made it necessary for the court and the parties to be particularly picky about who gets selected to serve. After the prosecution echoed that request, the judge said he would take the issue under consideration. The judge also offered the attorneys drafts of a questionnaire for the prospective jurors and led the parties through a discussion of the statement of the case, which would be presented to the jury pool. Clancy's attorney said that she is determined to be in court for each day of her trial. Jury selection begins on Monday. Marine mammal rescuers are monitoring dozens of bottlenose dolphins after the largest known stranding of that species in Massachusetts, according to the International Fund for Animal Welfare. IFAW said its team responded to 34 dolphins stranded in an area between First Light Beach and Ellis Landing in Brewster at about 5:30 yesterday morning. The animals returned to the water as the incoming tide reached the beach, but 5 or 6 dolphins died before rescuers arrived. The animals then began swimming north toward Wellfleet Harbor, an area rescuers described as particularly difficult for dolphins to navigate. IFAW positioned scouts at beaches between Ellis Landing and Wellfleet Pier to track the dolphins and watch for additional animals. IFAW reported that its vessel crews ended up guiding a group of about 50 dolphins south and out of Wellfleet Harbor. Additional scouts were expected to return today to look for any dolphins that may have become separated from the group or stranded again. Bottlenose dolphins usually live farther offshore, but IFAW said the species has increasingly been spotted closer to Cape Cod in recent years. The organization described yesterday's incident as the largest known bottlenose dolphin stranding off Massachusetts. The Inner Cape, particularly the curved coastline around Wellfleet and Eastham, is considered a global hotspot for mass strandings. Large tidal swings and broad, shallow flats can make it difficult for dolphins to navigate back into deeper water once the tide begins to recede. Well, the Quincy Quarry and Granite Workers Museum has officially opened their new stone house. Recently, Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch handed over the keys to museum president Al Bina after the city moved the historic granite house from Willard Street to the museum at the Lions Turning Mill off Raschuti Drive. The house was saved from demolition when the McDonald family donated it to the city. Over $900,000 in community preservation funds were used to dismantle the granite block home, move it to the museum, and then reassemble it and create a new headquarters. The building is completely handicapped accessible, has power, heat, air conditioning, and restroom facilities. It will serve as the new exhibit and function space for the museum. The house was built in 1830 and is on the National Register of Historic Places. A check of business news this morning. Stocks are down. The Dow dropped 138 points. The Nasdaq lost 408. The S&P fell 60. Oil prices climbed. Asian shares were mixed as fighting intensified in the Middle East. The dollar slipped. The euro rose. Oil now up to $85 a barrel. The forecast from the National Weather Service. A heat advisory goes into effect at 11 a.m. with the hazy sunshine today and a high of 98 degrees. Muggy tonight and a low of 80. Tomorrow, hazy, hot, and humid, high of 94. Thursday, sun and clouds, high of 91, and sunny 87 for a high on Friday. For the boater, a small craft advisory goes up at 4 p.m. Southwesterly winds at 10 to 15 knots will increase 15 to 20 with gusts to 25 and the waves at 2 feet. High tide 11:57 this morning. Sunrise 5:20, sets at 8:19. I'm Joe Catalano with an AM Quincy news update for Tuesday, July 14th.